Welcome everybody to Quantum Research University for Ideological Technology. About 4 months ago, if you are with us, you realize that you remember that we sent an intro video to you introducing our Research University for Ideological Technology, which we also said was and still is a reference university for quantum research and also Pan-African. The key things in our introductory video, one of the key things that we spoke about during the intro video was this tree and how it got wounded. Of course, the first one we spoke about quantum dynamics or mechanics being the solution to Bermuda Triangle, the mystery surrounding the Bermuda Triangle. We said that if world science will take a serious look at quantum mechanics, all the mysteries surrounding the Bermuda Triangle could possibly be healed. Today we are inaugurating Quantum Research University for Ideological Technology on YouTube. Following this, we shall have a national outdooring, if you like. But today we are inaugurating the institute, and we are happy to announce that those of us who remember this tree and then what had happened to it will recollect what I'm about to say. And for that reason, I am assuring everybody that just after what you are seeing, the whole 10-minute intro video will follow, so that you can digitally and calculatedly follow what we are doing. This is because we will, as we proceed today during our inauguration, we are going to talk about the school and what we stand for. But viewers, if you look at the video that will ensue, the intro video, you will see that during the video, this whole place was under healing, quantum healing, and we promise that it is only a matter of time that the gap will close, and here we are. Now that is our tradition. We base on our inauguration all over the world, wherever we go, we base our inaugurations on realistic scenarios, and that is why we are here, for everybody to see that what we predicted has come to pass. This is not a novelty. It happens all the time around us. Trees get healed. Nature heals herself, except we don't pay attention. We are aware that the world we live in needs healing, and at Quantum Research University we believe that when we heal ourselves according to nature, then the healing will be complete. So we will end this by saying that don't switch off your video yet. Continue and look at how the progress this tree has gone through, and then the quantum push that it needed for all the severed nerves to come together, and then make sure that the cycles within the tree continues. We told you that this is just a life form which can be folded back easily in the lab into energy. Thank you very much, but continue watching, because what follows is our intro video. The land I am working on is also the site for the proposed Research University for Quantum Mechanics and Ideological Technology. It is also the proposed reference university, which is Pan-African in nature, also for quantum mechanics and ideological technology. So then the question is, at least from our point of view, what is quantum mechanics? Well, let's take a reference from the Princeton University in the United States. Recently, there was a debate, and guess what the topic was? Ultimate reality. What is ultimate reality? And that is where we want to take our explanation from. If world science can appreciate to a very large extent what ultimate reality is, then perhaps, only perhaps, all the mysteries surrounding the Bermuda Triangle could be healed. Because it is an issue of mechanics, quantum mechanics. Is it an energy problem? It is. We know ships disappear there, airplanes disappear there. We see it as a confluence of energy. And so, with a clearer understanding of what goes on at quantum, maybe we could together begin to heal all the mysteries surrounding the Bermuda Triangle. That is our first platform for defining our view of quantum mechanics. But come with me, Alex. This beautiful tree is an expression from the quantum field. We know, physicists know, biologists too know. Then the question is, can we fold this tree, this expression, back into quantum? Yes, we can, sorry. We can. We can fold it back into energy. But we are trying to explain what, from our point of view, we look at quantum mechanics. A while ago, this place, the tree got wounded. There was a big slash here. But the important thing is that it is healing. And all these healing processes emerge from the quantum field. The designs, in fact, the template for the tree is perfect. And when the slash took place, that was an expression in the physical. So it didn't affect quantum design. So the instruction was still there. Be a tree and be perfect. And that activated a push from quantum that sought alliances with the severed nerves around here earlier on. So they sought affiliations and started building, bonding, and then in a process that we see here. Sooner than later, this gap will close. And let me just add this. You can see clearly that this tree has undergone a lot of stress. But for resilience that nature has, it will stand. We at the Institute talk about quantum mechanics as it relates to physicality. Einstein gave us the laws of relativity. And, it opened a gateway into understanding life. We look at nature in order to draw our physical designs. This we have not done so well as a collective. We have ignored, it looks like we have ignored quantum dynamics and are focusing now on physicality, making repairs with our own ideological traits that don't seem to even provide the desired result. Now, what we do at Quantum Mechanics Research University, we have 7 faculties, and all these 7 faculties have been carefully designed to look deeply into 7 major global institutions that literally govern the world. The idea is to look into these institutions and then apply them as nature would do if nature were running these institutions. So there is a clear semblance. In science, we know that as above, so below. So all these 7 faculties provide us with research agenda. And then we dive deep into existence, into the quantum field. And then we look for alternate designs and models and frameworks for these 7 global institutions. The first one is religion. And you know that it is religion that builds or is supposed to build societal structures. And the second is education. Education will expand the intellectuality. So it is critical that education takes into cognizance the importance of quantum mechanics, so that clearly nature can teach us how to institutionalize life, if you want or if you like that. Then we look at commerce and industry. We have seen from our various quantum laboratories that our education does not clearly fit into what quantum mechanics provides, or what nature provides. And so our educational models does not necessarily fit digitally onto what commerce and industry also pans out. So we have found alternatives in our business development, in our and then management, and we have put it into what we call leadership cycle. This is it. In fact, this is possible because of what is happening on the planet at the moment. There is a quantum shift. There is a paradigm, a new paradigm emerging. And it is as a result of the precession of the equinoxes. The astronomers and astrologers will understand us clearly. So now planet Earth is positioned to reshape her and redesign her institutional frameworks for better results. It's time also for our collective DNA to begin, because they are activated. Our DNA is activated now due to the quantum shift. So it's time for the activation process to proceed so that we can see new models in our religious entanglements, our educational entanglements, and commerce, industry, and so forth. Then from commerce and the industry, we go to health and well-being. Again, if you look at this tree and what it is doing for itself, there is no application from it. There's no external application. When it got wounded, all that nature said was, well, it's okay, I'm wounded, but I will take care of myself. All it needs is time. So we see that there's a disparity, there's a seeming disparity between our health practices and then what nature is also doing to heal herself. A lot goes on in the ocean we don't see. A lot goes on all around us from the multidimensional attributes of life. If you take health aside, we also look into food and nutrition. And we have decided to add genetic engineering. The reason is this. Food must reflect nutrition, and then nutrition too must reflect food. But for these two to be balanced, our genetic engineers must begin to modify natural products, albeit not to lose information. The balanced initial information is very, very critical. So food, nutrition, and genetic engineering. Apart from that, we also look into our politics, socio-economic policy designs. Again, if you look at nature and how nature manages leadership, you see that there's a gap, and that's what we do here. So we are the world's friend. You can say we just emerged, but we know the world gave birth. The world gave birth to us, and so there is that relationship that shall continue till we are perhaps understood. And then, last but not the least, along our faculties, we have a tradition, chieftaincy, and law reform. Again, if you look at nature and what goes on in the quantum field, and what what quantum dynamics manifest, you realize that law is law and order is order, and that is it. There's nothing we can do about it. So we indeed need to make sure that our tradition fits into nature, to be followed by our chieftaincy, and then possibly law reform. This is an introductory video. We shall be streaming on YouTube through either our English version, which is Consciousness in Action, or our Twi version, which is we have termed Consciousness in Twi. It is in Twi because it is time for Africa to begin writing their own textbooks in their indigenous languages. Because a language is a conduit of energy to a collective social memory complex, if you like. If there's an ethnic group with a distinct language, it's from the quantum field. It is energy flowing through this quantum conduit and then splitting in our usage of our alphabet and so forth and so on. So we will certainly expect you to move with us as we stream in either consciousness in action or consciousness in tree. And then we know that we can share our energies and then help in the quantum shift that is ongoing in the planetary system. Thank you so much. And so it is.
You're welcome once again. For my introductory video and the short video leading the introductory video, we now know the basics of Quantum Research University of Ideological Technology. Ejakwami Poku. Into details now, we want to know what Quantum Research University of Ideological Technology is.
Thank you, Ra. We've had series of explanations. We've said that if world science appreciates and embraces quantum science, the challenges we have at Bermuda Triangle could be solved, because it's an issue of quantum dynamics. The whole place is a confluence of energy. Following that, we came here and spoke about this tree and how it had been wounded, and how it was quantum energy that would be pushed forward to heal it. And certainly we saw what happened. Quantum science is the unseen science, and it takes reference from scriptures. During in one of our balancing of life on Earth,
on Earth videos, yeah,
we spoke about that, and we said that even in the Christian Bible, you see quantum science, you see the quantum field when you read Genesis chapter 1 verses 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and then the earth. Now we said that is the English version of which King James led. You understand? But that was translated from the Hebrew.
Yeah.
But if you go to the Hebrew, you see that, you read that by periods, God created that which produced the solar systems and then the earth. So you see the field there. The quantum field is the field out of which the earth and all that we see came from. Okay. Then when you come to the New Testament, assuming we say that, okay, but it's only in the Old Testament. When you come to the New Testament, and Paul was describing faith. And then Paul says that faith is the standing ground for the hopeful, the evidence of unseen facts. And then he goes on to say that throughout the ages, we are told that God, through continuous intention, created the whole of the ages and the universes, so that out of the unseen, the visible appeared. It's been clearer here than in Genesis. So quantum field has been with us. And then further, I went on to say that demonstrably, if you hold a piece of block, ice block, very chilled ice block, and you melt it, it becomes water. If you apply more heat, or if you increase the vibrations, it turns into vapor. After a while, if the heat is consistent, it disappears. Where does it go? It goes into that field where we do not see, and that is quantum field. So quantum science is this vibrant field where energy creates according to designs, and it is even further than metaphysics. Metaphysics will deal with, it's just beyond the physical, you see, but quantum science even goes down beyond or up above atom. Currently, there is no machine in the world that will look into the atom, but the quantum scientists can understand the interior of the atom. And then we said that we do this through intuitive guidance. Good. And if you practice it, and you practice it, if you come to Quantum Research University, you join one of our faculties, you know how to practice intuitive guidance. And where do we get intuitive guidance? And I also made reference. I'm making these references, these biblical references, because of my background, my training as a Christian. I know that if you go through all the other religious holy books, you will get what I am talking about. All right. So quantum science is that vibrant field where everything comes from. We demonstrated it by our friend the tree that got healed. Nobody applied any penicillin or anything. We only left it, and we came back and saw that it has closed. The wound has totally closed. So these are the topics we, let's say gaps, physical gaps gives us job to do. Why is this not working? Then quantum science can provide an alternative, which is natural, because then these are the designs that nature, or if you like, God has put down for us. The tree we saw is a DNA print. You can say it is every tree like this one. In the seed, you have these form drawn digitally in the DNA. Okay. Yeah, so when interaction with outside forces, then it appears. It's just like you are in your room and then somebody calls you. Then you prepare yourself and then you come up. You see, so that is quantum science. Then you ask about Quantum Research University for Ideological Technology. We call it consciousness over physics. Now, all scientists, every mechanical product that we see is an issue of physics. It's physics. Things come together, matter come together. There's a conglomeration of forces that become something usable by humanity. The chair we are sitting on is a conglomeration of particulate matter that congealed, if you like, then gradually, through a certain scientific design or an engineering design, we brought this out. So now it looks like I'm talking too long, but quantum science is very long and very broad.
You're not talking too long. We need all these details.
That's
so
right.
Yes,
good.
We like it that way.
Good. So if you come to quantum science, Quantum Research University, we have 7 faculties. And the reason if you listen to the intro video, we say that we carefully sat down to identify the major institutions that govern our world today. And then so we identified positively and very strongly these 7 areas, institutions, whose infrastructure is still existing. And so the work will be easier. So, but then before the 7 faculties, there's an initial preparatory faculty where people get a chance to examine themselves, understand energy and energy management, and then they introversely, if there's a word like that, then they go into themselves and find themselves and say, wow, I'll go to this faculty. Okay, so that is a structure. But then if you ask me what is the relevance now, then I'll go into something. In fact, today I am in my elements, if you like, because as a quantum scientist, that's right.
Okay, I'm excited today because we have this new thing coming up to us, our viewers, the whole of Ghana, Africa, and even to the whole world coming to us. Quantum Research University for Ideological Technology, Qruit in short, coming to all of us. I hope Qruit intends to go worldwide. What do you talk about it?
For now, Africa is our focus because Africa is our home. And not to be a segregationist or a divisionist. Africa is the most impoverished continent in our world today. Unfortunately, we are also Africans. So why don't we start here? So certainly it's a Pan-African initiative, and that is the African contribution to the New World Paradigm. And if you ask me what's the New World Paradigm, it's also a broad topic.
Okay. So can I ask what is the New World Paradigm?
Okay. Quantumly, if you allow me to use that word.
You're allowed to use.
That's right. Quantumly. This is our current civilization is the fifth since the inception of Mother Gaia, which is Earth. All right, and the question you have asked is an astronomical one, and it's an astrological one. In quantum science and at our university, we call it astronomical astrology. We've combined it, we've combined it. It's an astronomical issue, it's an astrological issue. The reason why Quantum Research University is relevant, about, let's say, about 5,125 years ago, during a certain cycle, those of us who are very historic or historical know the Mayan civilization, or the Maya civilization, let me say, or religion. In fact, they saw something. They saw that periodically the skies changed. Okay, and if they saw a star constellation somewhere, after a long period, it tended to shift. So it drew their attention and said, well, what's going on in the sky? And so they took their time to study that there was what we will call a celestial movement, or a galactic movement. They will not call it galactic movement because they did not even know. Their criteria for meaningfulness was very, very limited. But somehow they put this down. If you contact graphic history, like the Sumerian tablets, a whole lot of archaeological true findings. Even currently, if you go to South America and Central America thereabout, you still find the Mayans there. And they are very, very traditional, very, very religious in a way. They predicted that because of what they had seen in the skies and what they had followed celestially, if the Earth we are living on, planet Earth, could wobble along the precession of the equinoxes, these ones are deep, I know it, yes. If the Earth could wobble over a period and come back to the marker, just like athletes, when they go around this is the first, this is the second, that's right. If the Earth could go around the central galaxy, this one, and come to its marker, there will be changes, very huge changes. The energies will accelerate. The Earth could now graduate, given that humanity had been able to, live anyhow and preserve themselves. This is what was predicted by various religious sources as a cataclysmic event, which according to Christianity suggested that the world would end. There were clear, scenarios that suggested that no, this Earth cannot survive the situation we find ourselves in. But you see, quantum science tells us very different. And even in the same Bible, we found Armageddon. We knew that there was something going to happen. People say we'll go to hell, Christ will come, and then the end of the world would come. In fact, those are very three-dimensional understanding of galactic phenomena. You get it? Yes, we did not actually understand except what had been written in the Bible for us. And it is beautiful. If you ask me, when Jesus was born, there were 3 wise men who visited Bethlehem.
Yes.
Unannounced. And they were asking questions. Hasn't a king been born here? Because we have seen the signs. In fact, it was not written in the sky that Jesus has been born, but they saw the galactic event. They saw the changes in the cosmos, and it led them to that calculatedly by mathematics, because they were astrologers. If you look at the Hebrew translation, the Greek translation, they call them astrologers. Okay, so they went to Bethlehem to find out what had happened, and we don't know the rest of the story.
Yes.
So periodically the Earth wobbles along the precession of the equinoxes and come back to where it started. And that has taken 26,000 years since the Mayans predicted around 3114 BC. BC, that if the Earth could travel safely till 2012, then the Earth will graduate into a higher frequency vibration.
Okay.
And then, so that is where quantum science takes its sources practically. So we are covered. Everything in this world, the Earth has changed. you can conveniently say that the vibrations are different. Don't stick to the old paradigm. It will fail you. Now, get along the new quantum wind that is blowing. And if you are an observer, you see that no, some call it climate change, some call it global warming, but quantum science call it the cooling water cycle. Okay. The cooling water cycle. Periodically, the poles where the ice is has to melt and come down. Currently, around Canada, around the Arctic Circle, they've seen fresh land for the first time.
Whoa.
Yes. And so periodically the poles shed their ice, and it trickles down and goes through the earth crust and gets mixed up with quantum dynamics. Then if we don't take it, tsunamis, earthquakes occur, floods occur from time to time. And you see humanity running away. It is true. We've seen it. We haven't got in there. When we get there, we will describe that. So the earth has seen a lot of changes until now. So the earth is rather cooling. We call it global cooling because now earth itself is balancing herself. Let me give you factual scenarios. Let me give you two. You've seen that whales have been washed ashore recently.
Yes.
Yes. They have what we call quantum compasses. They don't think where to pass. They move instinctively according to their inner compasses. So they are prone to go the same circles. But when the shift occurred, the waters receded in some places. So it caught them. They are not thinking beings. They live by compasses and quantum dynamics. So they wash ashore. Let me give you another horrible scenario. Have you seen mermaids being washed ashore recently? I've seen twice recently. Yes, people gathering on the beach. Yes, they are half fish, half human,
yeah.
and they exist. This is not what we are talking about today. So the reason they come ashore is that they leave their kingdom and come to the earth. But because of the shift that is going on in the world, they are not aware of to change their dynamics, to change their roots and all that. So if the stubborn ones will come out and get stuck, and then they will die. And that's what you find at the beaches where mermaids have been washed ashore. Life is real. We don't have to live lives as a fantasy. It is good to imagine, yes, because anytime you imagine, you enter the quantum field. And then if you are very persistent, you put forms in place, and then they form. Just like I told you that when the farmer put the seed there, the farmer didn't think that the seed contained drawings, DNA drawings. Now, it's expectation. Just put it there. The next time it starts, the quantum scientists will say, "Oh, I understand what's going on." So you see, it is a galactic event. Now the sun, those of us who will watch the sun carefully will see that it is shining brighter. Yes, because of the galactic alignment. Now the sun, our Earth is exposed to the center of the galaxies, which means now we are in direct link with the center for more information. And it also throws our sun up a bit to receive more sun from the central sun. So the sun shines clearly lately. I do not know whether I have, to some extent, answered your query.
You have. The words are deep, and the more reason why people or viewers should come to quantum just to know and understand more of these words. I realized from what you were saying that this whole thing is a human project. How do you explain that?
Yes, it is a human project because it is human-centered. The earth is human-centered. We all came out of the earth, whether we understand or believe it. So we are children of the earth. Where did we come from? And how did it happen? In fact, religion has attempted to describe it in so many beautiful ways in metaphors. As a Christian, I found it in the Bible and then in the Garden of Eden. They are all metaphors, they are all symbolic, you see. So the human project intends succinctly to talk about where humanity originated, why we are here on earth, and where do we go possibly from here. And then because of the entirety of the human project that the quantum, our school covers, We want to tie it together. So after we've explained humanity and the opportunities available because due to the current shift, and we think we've covered the distance, then we can summarize that the distance in another discourse on YouTube perhaps, and we can name it the Human Project. So you see that the Quantum Research University is there for humanity. It is here to explain what humanity is about. What, and that is why you have brought a very important topic for balancing life on Earth: destiny and reincarnation. Yes. So you can't detach quantum science from humanity. Yes, because all our physics, all our physicality comes from the quantum field, including human beings who are supposed to be the leaders, who are supposed to work cooperate with Mother Earth, and then direct things, direct energy, manage energies efficiently, so that there will be peace and harmony. We've done so well through the darkness up to this time. That's why we qualified around 1987 when the harmonic convergence that brought about 2012 Maya prediction. We have a lot to talk about, but let me just end it here.
But remember, we have said we're saying it in detail, so you don't hide anything from us if you want to say something.
Yeah. So if now that we have the opportunity, and when we say that this is our inaugural video, it means we must compact the summary, at least in a way.
Yes.
So for people to really understand what is it, maybe go through from our initial or preparatory faculty of understanding to the 7 faculties, their relevance in short description. Maybe.
Okay. So before I forget this, from the introductory video we learned, or we saw that this tree healed, and then you said we're going to reconstruct or solve this Bermuda Triangle issue. Can you talk about it? How do you intend to do that?
Okay. Healing is a natural phenomenon.
Yes.
And once we understand that, we allow nature to guide us. Okay, so it's like there's a blueprint for energy expressing itself. So why do we make plans, so elaborate plans, in the way of natural sequences? Okay. You understand? The tree that we saw, it was gaping. There were some fluids even coming around it and all that. Very nasty wound, if you like. And then the nerves had been severed. So quickly, the nerves that have been severed will seek affiliations. When there is a natural disaster, you see people going to friends. Oh, can we stay with you for a while? Can we put our things with you? We need to survive. We need to go on. So the severed nerves also seek affiliations. Hey, we have a trauma. Can you help us naturally? Benevolence take over, and then they come here. But we don't see with our eyes. What we can see is that the tree is healed, and these are the things that. So the severed nerves sought affiliations, then they relinked, and that's all that going on. It shows up in the physical. That's why we say it is physics with an attitude. You see, it is science. No, it's not science per se. It is energy with an attitude, an energy that knows what to do. Depending on what the human being is thinking. All right.
Okay. So now Qruit is here, and we know Quantum Research University.
But don't let me even cut you. You ask me a question that should flow.
Okay.
So who are our partners? The whole world. Humanity is our partners. Humanity will come to us in partnership, in associations, in affiliations, in studentship and everything. And there are a lot of inventions coming, and Africa must be ready for this because we see it in the field. Yes, this is a Pan-African project, and it's soon going to spread. We know that governments must. We are not going to, with all due respect, beg for partnership from governments along the political corridors per se. They have their own agenda, but we are saying that we will weave our way. Before we knock on government's door, we can show something.
From what you've just said, now I'm cutting you, but do you have any target group? I know they'll be watching this video and then they'll know from here you're inviting them.
Yes, let me pick a list which I cannot, I cannot come from my, cannot, what's the word? Invoke from my mind immediately. We We have 7 faculties, and the first one is religion.
Okay.
There's a reason we need to understand religion, and then perhaps enhance it because of the new energy that is blowing that we have now. The earth itself is moving. So if religion and all other institutions don't move in tandem with the current energies, there will be more chaos. Already we see a lot of chaos, and we also see what the COVID has supposedly done. We will work with, I don't know how to, let me just go along the faculties. It may be easier. When we take our religion, in fact, we are not, it's not an interdenominational issue, faculty. You want to understand what is religion. Religion is either God seeking for man or man seeking for God. And in that, religion has done so well, except that it doesn't seem to explain what spirit is. The structure of spirit. Spirit has a structure. That is why all life forms have structures, because there's no life form visible that has no force, driving it. Okay, so religion, it's time for religion due to the new shift in energy, which we call the new paradigm earth. Religion must enhance their religious interpretations. Okay, and that calls for a newer and an enhanced criteria for our meaningfulness. Okay, so religion must promote spirituality so that anybody who joins any religious affiliation must will understand finally who God is, and then their lives will be, lived alongside that understanding. But it looks like if we all do, and I'm a Christian and I'm religious, we have hit a wall. Right now, if religious groups will be very honest with ourselves, we really don't know where we are going from here, except to say that the earth is ended and then heaven is the next. Indeed, heaven is the next, but it is a heaven that humanity shall build. Okay, the Bible has spoken about it beautifully, the New Jerusalem descending and all that. But it is our duty. If we don't build it, we will not even experience life. And we'll build it according to our own. But until we understand who God is, then we understand spirituality. So in this new era, religion is faced with the understanding of spirituality. Then the whole game is over. So what quantum science is saying is that if religion promotes the structure of spirit, energy, so that religion describes or takes humanity to spirituality, then it will be like seeing God face to face. Life will take a different shape. So this is what we can say about religion in the meantime. As we stream along, we will go each faculty in all the details we can afford. If you put but then let me even go back to our first preparatory faculty for understanding. I don't think I have said much about it. That will prepare you to choose which faculty you want to pursue, anything you want to pursue, according to your own destiny and inner findings. Then we come to education. We have found out that our education must include the ecology. A child must know how a plant grows from the soil and how it is nurtured and taken care of even until harvest time. It gives the child a natural affiliation, so he will to nature, so that the children begin to understand how life expresses itself. Then, apart from the ecological education, there must be a clear distinction between intellectuality and spirituality. Don't forget that if religion had done the job by showing humanity what spirituality is, then the next thing for the child to do is just to understand the ecology and intellectuality. In the long run, intellectuality and spirituality shall be mixed in what we call spiritualized intellectuality or intellectualized spirituality. It is not this big. that the way I am speaking it. If a man walks from A to B, and that man is aware of himself, and that man knows where he's coming from, and that man knows what the ecological environment or framework is, as against intellectuality, as against spirituality, then there's a shift in consciousness. Such a man will walk the earth with in all awareness, and and begin to follow designs that produce results, so that we will not live our lives through guessing, through conjecturing, but finding out facts and building upon these facts. So that is about education. Our education too is too linear. We intend to introduce non-linear models that will be linearly repetitive. What I mean is that you will be repeating, as you study something, whether it is sciences, engineering, whatever, you repeat it till dexterity, what we call dexterity. We will become one with the process, and in that process alone there is progress. Instead of going linear from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if you look carefully in our planetary education and intellectual expression, we've counted from 1 to trillion. Beyond trillion, where are we going? And what is the importance of drawing a long line of life expression instead of curling it a bit to see what is behind you? In this way, we called ourselves the graduate school for reverse engineering. Why is it that what do we reverse? We've done so far very, very well. Look at our engineering processes and what we've done so far, and look at how it is impacting society, negatively or positively. So we bring the two ends, the two poles together and streamline our engineering. That is the core reason why quantum science is very, very relative. You see governments pursuing digitization programs, and the reason is simple: so that policies can be drawn on facts and not conjectures and assumptions. Right. So our education must take care of our economy, of our commerce and industry. So if we train ourselves well in education, then if you look at commerce, it will be at balance, because the old energy commerce, they looked at business management or corporate governance from that old energy perspective. We know that it is love, it is compassion, it is benevolence that will keep this world running, and yet you don't really see these in our institutions. So when our religion picks up, and then our education picks up, then our commerce, our industry will also stay balanced. Today we are not able to go into the details. We are running up the faculty so that we will get a clearer explanation as we are inaugurating, so that we will take each faculty one by one from today, and people will follow according to their interest. If our commerce and industry is balanced, if our unemployment problems are solved, there were times that countries had more jobs than they had labor, and it is coming back because humanity is now graduating into a new era where our intellectual prowesses are going to increase and expand, so that we put things down that will help us. Then, if you have really looked at or watched our intro video, you know that from commerce and industry we spoke about our health and well-being. We have a challenge here currently. The status quo, medical sciences is doing very well to take care of humanity. In spite of all the resistances, the medical science has done so well. But the shift that humanity is entering suggests a deviation from our normal practices medically. Our medical sciences should see a bit of shift. And how will that take place? We'll go back to nature and see how structures are maintained. Look at the human structure, for example. We have said that it is held by an organ called the cellular structure. The cellular structure. I know medical scientists know what the cellular structure is about. It is this that holds the physical structure. So we are going to suggest and then look at healing from quantum, from our cellular structure into our physicality, and like the tree that we saw, the processes that went on with the tree. We know that sure, nature can give us all the inbuilt resources we need with little guidance, and then our health administration will see a shift. Then after our health and well-being, we spoke about food and nutrition as a faculty of Quantum Research University for Ideological Technology. And we said that food and nutrition is at an equilibrium. They must balance because food ensures nutrition. And for nutrition to be nutrition, it depends 100% on food. But the current food for humanity, we know that it is degenerative, if you like. So what quantum science will do is to look at our genetics, the genetic structures, and not with food alone. In fact, across the globe, look into genetic structure or even the DNA, and then look at how healthy food can be produced for humanity. Because where we are going, we must stay healthy. And with our current engineering, genetic engineering practices, no, we shall have problems. So we must look at our genetics engineering in terms of food and nutrition and enhance that one. This shall go on here in our various laboratories that will be built, and then we shall see how the new human shall feed and benefit from absolute nutrition. Apart from that, we also have talked as a faculty, we have a section for political analysis, socio-economic policy design. This is deep, and without explanation, we all know worldwide what the political situation is. The old energy is dying, but it is dying hard, and it is producing a lot of chaos. But the chaos must subside. If only humanity must appreciate quantum science and then begin to recalibrate our political strategies and then our socio-economic policies. Briefly, this is what this faculty will handle. In details, you can follow us as we explain, and as we also call, interface with our prospective students and affiliations. Let's talk about our last faculty, which is the faculty for traditional practices, chieftaincy, and law reform. Law reform is a huge project. You may not even know where to start from, but you will certainly look at traditional practices if you intend to really make alterations or enhancements in our legal system, because all our legal system depends on human activity, human thought. So traditional practices is key. What are traditional practices? The practices, the day-to-day activities that have occupied humanity since eons. How they have benefited humanity and how they have not benefited humanity. And how it has evolved into what we call chieftaincy. And so if law reform take cognizance of these two attributes, it can possibly look at whether constitutionally or otherwise, where to make amends in general laws and so on. If you put the 7 faculties plus the preparatory faculty together, in brief, this is what Quantum Research University for Ideological Technology is about. We have said that it is also a Pan-African reference university for quantum mechanics. We shall, in no small ways, do our best to get to the bottom of every attribute that we speak about, so that we can all benefit.
So Qruit is indeed a human project. From your explanation, or before you got to your explanation, we wanted to know the target group for this. And so now that they know what Qruit is all about, I know they'll be interested. So let us know the groups now.
Yes. Very soon, our website shall be ready. And then our faculty shall be elaborately outlined there for our prospective affiliations and associations. There are 7 faculties, as we have said, but there are 12 different departments that in a way run these 7 faculties. And these 12 departments or sections have targets on our own, which we want to make known to the public, because come next year we shall be doing our national inauguration.
Yeah.
This is only the YouTube inauguration. So we have some target groups which we intend to affiliate or call along or hook along with as we move towards our inaugural modalities or preparations and so forth. Some of these are the Association of Ghana Industries. You know, we have a group, or is it a unit? A unit in our operations that we call Design and Alliances. And that is where the invention, that is our Silicon Valley. That is where all our inventions are going to spring from. Okay, and so AGI will be interested in our thoughts along inventions, because these are Association of Ghana Industry, and you know, we know that the employment is an issue. So in the short term, we are going to them and tell them that, wow, this is what we are about to do, and you must be our friend. Okay, and then we talk with them, and then we will go to our friends, the Unemployed Graduates Association. The time has arrived for us to be friends with them, put some designs and restructure the organization, and perhaps even rename it, because we will help them to become Self-Employed Graduates Association. And you see how AGI will be interested in this.
Yes, so their names are changing from...
We will suggest a metamorphosis, if you like,
yes,
from Unemployed Graduates Association to Self-Employed Graduates Association. And when that happens, guess what is going to happen to university graduates? Mm-hmm. Yes. Now, they have the opportunity after the COVID to start anything. And they have support from quantum science, and quantum research is there to guide them into everything. One interesting thing we'll be doing is intellectual banking. Okay, we don't know how we shall kick that to start, but the idea is this: we have so many people in the country and are spread across Africa with very beautiful ideas. They don't know what to do with it, so you come to the bank and then deposit your idea. If it's an idea that can start on its own, then bingo. So the intellectual banking is what we are describing, and we've said that if you have an idea, don't you remember when the old adage that the best gold mine is the graveyard? That people went there with beautiful ideas, and they didn't know what to do with those things. You see people inventing stuff on their own, they don't know what to do with it. So the intellectual banking will solve that challenge. And then you walk in there, or we can even set agencies around, go to villages, go to schools, people who are graduating but have beautiful ideas, bank it with them. Bank it with us. If we have to integrate ideas to form a company or an organic firm, we will do that. So and then the banks are there. There's a lot of money in the world. There's a lot of money, euro, dollar, pound sterling. Once we have very, very compassionate designs and plans, there's money. Yes, the banking fraternity cannot frown on good design.
No.
No. Yes. So that is one of the projects we will be embarking upon. Let's look at certain, and this discussion typically go under commerce and industry. When we look at nothing is affordable lately. Nothing is affordable, and yet everything is supposed to be free. So one area we tackle seriously is what we call herbaceuticals. Instead of pharmaceuticals, it will be replaced by herbaceuticals, where everything is organic. And where we will not even go after drugs any longer, but medicines, which are also nutritional, you see. So we will tackle these other areas. And this area, what we intend to do is to this is energy work. So every plant, every natural product, we can find what it must do energetically and measure it and quantumly and put the appropriate energy in quantum terms, so that what we have seen chemically will also show itself herbally. Okay, so herbaceuticals is an area we will not play at all with. I spoke about design and alliances. Yeah. All these things I'm talking about fall under design and alliances, where we will have affiliations with even tech companies. Because you see, the truth of quantum science is that everything we see, from airplanes to submarines to hospital equipment, come from the quantum field. That is where science got all these from. But what we are postulating now is an increased efficiency, so that what we invent do not come to kill us, but we can live with our own inventions in peace. Okay, so design alliances have a lot we cannot even explain here. We will look at even women groups are our targets, and women groups are targets in a sense that the male energies seem to be dominating too much at the expense of the feminine energy. But quantum science sees a complete energy. In 3D, it is split into what we call masculine and feminine. But because of duality, because of yes and no, one gender seems to be feel more superior than the other. No, we have designs and models that will clearly show that all men are equal. That didn't God say men women are helpmates and all that? So women's group, and before our national inauguration, the women's groups, in fact, we must try to identify all women's groups in the country and bring them somehow quantumly to help in our inauguration. You see, there are many things we intend to do. Even under the design alliances, we've found a lot of inventions that Africa needs. One key area is power. We depend on fossil fuels too much. Now is the time to depend on magnetics. You see, powerless power, okay, which flows forever. Okay, so the reason we call ourselves Research University for Ideological Technology is that who can say that ideology and technology are not married? Technology cannot be technology unless it springs from ideology. Yes. But let's look at ideology very critically, okay, and identify how ideological sparks even come to us before we even put it down. Okay, so that we can now look at our engineering equations gradually. So many things. Now, look, this is the biggest energy shift for planet Earth ever. And let me just say this right before perhaps we will end. If planet Earth did not make it around 1987, you and I will not be sitting here. And whenever I talk about this, I am very emotional. Where will we be? I mean, if the Earth did not graduate, then the end would have come. I don't know where we will be according to our soul trajectories. We will not be here. So the other side of the veil, where the angels are, they are congratulating humanity. You graduated. For the, you've done this. This is the 5th time. Have you heard of Lemuria? Have you heard of Atlantis? Have you heard of other civilizations that couldn't make it? We were all there because of reincarnation. We were all there. We were all there, but we couldn't make it. But now we've made it. So yes. So if you are the engineers, if you are very sensitive, go to the research and find out world's major airstrips. Even the runways have been repainted because of the shift. So that what I told you about the whales, so that the pilots will not miss. You see the point. Everything has changed. We should not fool ourselves and believe in some fact. How could I even say it? I don't know. We should be objective, and that is why Qruit Quantum Research University is inviting a partnership between our current academia and then the new world paradigm academia, so we can kind of merge and so that we can see the transition very smooth. Otherwise, the chaos we see may proceed for a while. Okay, but in all cases, we are very happy because the world, we all graduated, and so the earth is new. We have a softer earth now. And now look at the climate. Nobody will see the old Hamatan any longer. Okay, in an old rainy season, what the many anomalies that we seem to experience negatively are all natural occurrences. The melt from the poles that seep into the ground, that's a lot of things. If you have a molten metal and you introduce anything cold, there's an explosion. So if the water descends through the crevices, down through the cracks, and it hits the core, and geologists know the core of the crust, very hot. So if the waters touch the crust, there is a reaction. Then they find their way. Then one day, earthquake. And if it happens under the sea, then tsunami. Okay, the earth trembles. It is the earth, Mother Earth, adjusting itself.
Okay. So yes, Qruit, it's our vision to create life without borders, and we have really got it.
Let me. You have given me food for thought. You said life without borders.
Yes.
Sorry that I cut you. That is our vision.
Yes.
Life without borders, and I need to kind of explain a bit. We shouldn't. No, life is lived without restrictions. Nothing should restrict this corn plant. If there were some physical laws that would say, don't go so straight, you have to do this, you have to do that, how can it grow freely and even give us fruit? So life is supposed to flow freely. That is where we see our vision from. So our mission then becomes, how do we tell the world that life is supposed to be lived without borders? Africa, here we come. This is our home. And this new Pan-African initiative is buoyant.
Okay. So all these target groups we have mentioned, you're all welcome on board. Together we can create this life without borders. We thank you very much for your audience.